are with Dave. Can you please introduce yourself a bit?
Hey, my name is Dave Byrn. Former brewmaster of Pasteur Street. Helped them start up, and right now I've started my own consulting company. I'm Crafted Beverage Solutions, and also working with TUV, a local ingredient and malt supplier.
Oh, okay. So, can you please tell us a bit about Vietnam craft beer scene so far?
Yeah.
So you're based in Vietnam, right?
Yes. Still living in Saigon, a little over 4 years now. Yeah, it's been a wild and fun ride. When I came to Vietnam, there was a lot of beer, a lot of people that loved drinking beer, but there wasn't a lot of good beer. So it was an exciting place to be 4 years ago, or a little over 4 years ago, when it really got started. Before that it was commercial lagers, but everyone loved drinking them. Per capita consumption has been ranked 13% or more in the world consistently, and yeah, the Vietnamese love their beer. 97% of all alcohol consumed in Vietnam is beer, which is amazing. So tapping into that market and seeing where we've come from that time to now is crazy. We've gone from maybe 3 breweries to 26, 27, depending on how you define them. So yeah, fun, exciting.
So, how the local person accept the new beer, I mean the craft beer? Do they like drink craft beer a lot, or they still drink like that lager?
Yeah, I mean lager's still the majority of consumption.
Yes,
it's like even I contribute to that because it's cheap. And they actually make some really good stuff.
Yeah.
It's like I can buy a case of Huda, one of my favorites, for 230,000 dong, which, you know, a little over, it's like $10, $11 US.
Yes.
And right, some of the craft beer in Vietnam for a can can retail for even more than that. So I mean, there's a huge price discrepancy between the commercial lagers and the craft. That said, there's still a lot of interest in people coming in and trying it.
Yes.
So it's like, well, maybe you can't afford to drink it all night, but you come to a tap room and you get a sampler and you get to taste all kinds of different beers with your friends, and that's where it started on the small scale. It's like we have to educate people. We have to teach the consumers what products we have to offer and you know how they're different. Why are you paying 8 to 10 times more for our beer than you are for someone else's commercial lager? It's been amazingly well received. Looking forward to growth continuing to go on for the foreseeable future.
So can you tell us about your new brewery happening?
So I'm involved in several different projects. As a consultant, I'm working with multiple different people in terms of setting up breweries, and like I said, I'm working with TUV, who's an ingredient supplier in the region. So I do have several projects going on. I can't elaborate too much because of non-disclosure agreements, but yes, I guarantee you'll be hearing more about me and the breweries I hope make in the near course of the year. I know I can catch up with them here, which is awesome. I mean, we went from a tiny little square that could have been in that little booth area to a huge convention floor. It's spectacular. We went from 40 people to 530, is what confirmed for this year.
Yeah, so it's rapidly growth.
Yeah, looking forward to next year and even more people.
Yeah, so we're going to see you in the SEABREW next year, of course. Of course. Thank you so much, Dave. Yeah, nice to see you. See you in Vietnam.
Absolutely.
ตอนนี้อยู่กับคุณลูกYardleyนะคะ So we are with Luke Yardley from Hong Kong.
That's right.
Yardley Brothers Brewing.
That's right, Yardley Brothers Hong Kong.
Yeah, so we met in Hong Kong and he was my guy at Hong Kong.
Yeah.
So nice to have. So how's the SEABREW party this year?
Oh, great. Yeah, it's been like a step up. It's getting bigger, SEABREW, I think.
Yeah.
It's been great.
People.
Yeah, I met some really lovely people so far. Like I've potentially made some collaboration brews plans, so which is cool.
So you've got a lot of deals.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's been good.
Okay, so you had some beer with Sandport, right?
Of course.
The chili one, the basil one.
Yeah, we made a beer called Thai Chili Getaway.
Yes.
And this one is it's a sour beer made with 800 Thai chilies and 10 kilos of fresh basil in the boil. So we made that in Hong Kong, and then we also made it in Bangkok.
Wow. So you sell that in Hong Kong too?
That's right. Yeah, it's very popular in Hong Kong. Yeah.
Very popular.
Yeah, everyone loves like the taste of Thailand, in this beer. So,
and it's sour beer. That's so like weird actually.
It's sour and spicy, like full flavor.
I like it. And so, can you describe a bit about like craft beer in Hong Kong?
Yeah, sure.
Yep.
So Hong Kong craft beer scene, I think Hong Kong's a place we should be pretty proud. We're doing very well in Hong Kong. There is a high level of competition, but it's resulting in great beers. So if you take the other breweries like Young Masters, Heroes, Moon's End, these guys are all doing great stuff. Yeah, it's a very competitive but positive place to brew.
Okay, so and you can you tell us a bit about your beer? I mean, you like just happened a bar, just opened a bar in Hong Kong, right?
That's right. Yeah. So we have a new venue called The Beer Shack. It's a beer cafe, so we're going to be serving great coffee. We're going to be serving a lot of sour beers, some real ale, and good food as well.
And you have some barrels at that place too.
We've got some. That's right. Yeah. So at the back of the bar, we have barrel aging of our spontaneous sours. But it's going to take about a year or two before you can try them.
Yeah, but when you go to Hong Kong, you can just contact him and he will get you the nice place and nice beer too.
Come and have a beer with me.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
Cheers. All right. Sure.
Yeah, you are all speakers for these events, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, so nice to meet you guys. So
we can only talk for a few minutes. We have a panel we have.
Only a few minutes.
Okay.
If you can.
Okay.
So could you please like talk a bit about these events? I mean, like you came kind of far from like far country for us. Can you like talk a bit about this for me? So what did you get from this event and what did you give for us?
Well, it's my first time to this event.
Yes.
So it's kind of important for me to understand how this side of the world is even acting with beer. Because now that I've got some skin in the game in a brewery in Australia, I kind of want to know where we're going to be distributing to next, and kind of some good connections here with not only malting companies and hop companies and all that stuff. And kind of what I spoke about at the event was kind of managing growth and through the experiences that I've had. Yeah, so I kind of just try to give back experiences that I've been through in a smaller brewery setting and a big brewery setting. So it's kind of what I brought to the table.
Actually, in Asia, most of us are like microbrewery, right? And most of our breweries are microbrewery.
Sure.
Do you have any like exactly advice for us?
I'm sorry?
Do you have any exactly advice? I mean, the advice for us who is like rapidly growing too fast?
I would monitor your growth. If you grow too fast, there's nothing wrong with having a small micropub. You know, it kind of shields you from the outside and can help you monitor your growth a little bit more too. So I wouldn't be afraid to not grow. As long as you're still sustaining your company well, I mean, don't be afraid to not grow too. You don't have to grow too much. So that's what I would say.
Thank you.
Of course.
Okay, so maybe,
Sure.
Could you please talk a bit about this party, this event?
Yeah.
What do you talk about and what do you see in this event?
I'm pretty impressed by this event. The number of people that are here and how much it's grown in the last few years from talking to people that I've heard. And I also compare it to I do other events around the world. I've talked at conferences in Chile and Brazil and in Europe and all that stuff. And it's really interesting to see how markets are becoming mature. And honestly, I have to say I'm really impressed with the quality of the beer, too. It's mostly really pretty good. And I just like finding out what's going on around the world in the craft brewing scene. I also always get ideas for beers that I want to make, based on local ingredients that I find here and there. And I think just the level of excitement has been really pretty impressive.
How do you manage or how do you balance? So you do manage the brewing business.
Yeah.
And you still doing the beer. I mean, you still concerned if the beer is good, if it's the beer you like or the customer likes. How do you balance it about the art brewing and the managing?
Actually, that's a good point,
yes.
because you find yourself sometimes, you know, we've been making a beer recently, a golden ale, fairly low alcohol, low hop content, trying to make it very accessible because we're brewing it for the Golden State Warriors basketball team. And so we want the people who go to the games to enjoy that beer. It's not necessarily a beer for me. I like it, but it's not a beer for me. It's a beer for that crowd.
Yes.
And you're right, you do have to balance that. But the good thing is that in a pub setting, you can do both. You can brew beers for, you know, the larger group, and you can brew beers that you like too, and there will be enough people who, you know, are not geeks or enthusiasts who show up and drink it. So that's the beauty of the pub. You can do everything.
Wow, thank you so much for your opinion and
Sure.
for being here.
Yeah.
For us, yeah.
No, I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
Yes, so you're the last one. And you're going to be at Mid-Bar tonight, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, and you... How do you see, what did you see in this event? In the Asia, Southeast Asia crowd? Yes.
Well, I love these events. They're very good. My favorite part is the networking. We get to meet other brewers and exchange ideas. I love that. It's my favorite part. Get to see lots of good friends like all these guys. Haven't seen them in a long time, some of them. And I think that education is the best way to make better beer. And we're very lucky in our brewing community. There's a lot of sharing. So if I have a question about something in my brewing practice, I can call one of my friends and ask them, and they're very helpful.
Yeah, always.
Yeah, you would never see that in a computer like IBM. They don't call Apple if they got a problem. But in our community, in our industry, you do that a lot, and I think that's great. And these events foster that. They help with that. So I think it's very good.
And can you please explain me a bit why you love to do the sour or Borossa beer, which is already gone and came back?
It's a very popular beer for us. We started off brewing it about 8 years ago, and it's now 50% of our business. So, yes.
50%?
Yes.
Wow, I'm surprised.
So a lot of people are drinking it, and that's good. We like that because we need to sell beer. And I think it's very refreshing, particularly somewhere like Thailand where it's hot, you know, and it's a different kind of flavor.
Yeah, so the first person I tried is Alison.
Oh, good.
Sandport ฝากกดไลค์กดแชร์ด้วยนะครับผม